Asfar, Mitzvah through ASMR. Good evening, Shabbat Shalom, and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I tie my tichels, which are headscarves. In this video, I'll talk a little bit more about what a tichel is and why some people wear them. Then I'll show you different ways that I tie them for both square and rectangular headscarves. And then at the end, I'll talk a little bit about my own personal journey and why I decided to start wearing tichels and what it means for me. So I hope that you enjoy this video. And without further ado, let's talk about these headscarves. So these are all the tichels that I own. I've acquired a few over the years. I really like them. They're special to me. So a tichel is just a Jewish headscarf. Traditionally, these headscarves are worn by Orthodox women who are observing modesty. So when a woman is married, she will cover her hair as part of that modesty. But you don't have to be Orthodox or even be observing modesty to wear tichels. In fact, one of the companies that I've bought a few of my tichels from, they're called Rapunzel. They talk about how it's okay to wear a head wrap for any reason, really. It can be fashion reasons, health reasons, spiritual reasons, whatever it may be. They're very open to having anyone purchase their tichels and encourage people to wrap just because they like to. So I'll talk more about it later on in the video, but I don't practice modesty, so I don't have to cover my hair. It's something that I really just choose to do, and I'll talk more about why and when I wear them later on in the video. And so I don't usually show my whole face in these videos. I usually only show the bottom half, but for this video, hello, here's my face, here's my hair. I've had long hair and pixie cuts, and right now I'm kind of growing out a mullet. I enjoy having different haircuts, so this is what my hair looks like right now. And so some people will wear a shaper under their tichel. That's kind of like a small hat that you wear over your hair, and it covers it and it adds some volume. But in this case, I don't wear a shaper. I wear this headband. It has kind of like a grippy, velvety material, and so that just prevents the headscarf from slipping off your head. If you don't wear one, it likely will slip off. I didn't know this in the first time I wore a tichel. By the end of the night, it was slipping off, so once I purchased one of these headbands, I was able to keep the tichel on all day. So even if you don't have to cover your hair and you don't want to use a shaper, you would want to have one of these to help keep that on. And in the future, I might try to wear a shaper to add more volume, but for now, I'm perfectly fine just wearing the headband. And so this is the first tichel I ever purchased. It's very thin and sheer, and I find that it's one of my favorites because that thinness makes it just so easy to work with. It's breathable, and you can really do different shapes with it. And so for most of the square tichels, I'll take one corner of the tichel and I will line it up with the other corner, just like so. And then I'll connect the other corners, and by doing that, I'm going to create basically a giant triangle. As you can see here, you're basically taking a square, folding it in half diagonally so that you create a triangle. And so what I do after that is I'll take the longest side of the tichel, So this one here that I'm showing, and that is going to go on my forehead, right at my hairline, maybe a little bit past my hairline. And so by placing it this way, you should have two tails in the front, and then in the back you should have that other cornered piece. And so for one of the most common ways that I tie my tichel, I'll take that back piece and put it on top to keep it out of the way. And then I'll tie the two tails behind me, and I'm just doing a very simple tie, just wrapping around each other once, not really a tight knot or anything, just like so. And so then I'll take that top flap and put it back over. And so for a lot of my videos, I'll just leave it down like this. It looks nice from the front. But when I'm going out in public, I like to tuck the back part in. It just creates a little more volume. It keeps it kind of secure. And so I'll tuck it in like so, and then I'll go out like this. And this is one of my favorite looks. I like having both tails. It's really comforting and cute. And so this is probably a top favorite way that I wear my square tichels. And so the rectangular ones are a bit different, but I'm going to still show a few ways that we tie the square ones. So another thing you can do is take one of the tails and bring it over to one side and tie it around the other tail, just like so. And so now the tails are all on one side. That's actually the first time I ever tied a tichel. That's how I learned to tie it. It looks really cute. It really keeps it secure. Both sides I think look cute, the tied side and the side that isn't tied. And then there's one other way I've learned very recently. As much as I like tails, sometimes I want them out of the way, so I will just take the two tails and wrap them around the top of my head and just do a simple square knot, or really any knot you want to. Then I tuck in the little bit remaining of the tails under the band I've just created. And so by doing this, I've just created a little band on top. I'll tuck in the bottoms a little bit to neaten it up. And this is a cute way to wear it too. It keeps it out of your face, out of your body, so it really feels like you don't have any hair or anything in your way, and it looks nice. Okay, so I'm going to untie this if I can get it. And now I want to show you how I tie the rectangular tichel. So this is one of the first rectangular tichels that I've purchased. This is from Rapunzel, that company I mentioned earlier. So the rectangular tichels are very, very long, but the width is a little bit shorter. And I think they can be a little bit more challenging. I think the square tichels are better for beginners. There was a little bit of a learning curve when I first used these, and I'm still learning now. So what I'll do is I'll take the top edge and I'll fold it in. And I'll show you about how far I fold it in. It's probably between 1/3 to 2/3 down the way. As you can see here, yeah, that's probably like 1/3. It doesn't have to be too much. You just want to fold it in a little bit. And so then I'll take that folded side and I'll put it at my hairline again, or just past it, the same way I placed the square tichel. Now when you first put it on, you're going to notice that both tails are even in length, but for this one we don't want them even. So I'm going to move it over to the side a little bit so that one tail is shorter than the other. I'll show you why we do this in a minute. And looking at this, I think I might shorten the tail just a little bit more, so I'm going to do that now. And so now I'll just wrap them around each other in the back. I won't even tie it because it's so heavy, it doesn't need to be knotted. And so now we have a short and long side. We're going to take the long tail, and you see how it's kind of wide. We're going to take the edges and fold them in, so we're kind of creating like a narrower strip of the tail. And I'm going to take that and wrap it around my head like so, and then I'll take the other shorter tail and I will tie it around it, creating a knot. And so this is what that will look like. I adjust it a little, and this is typically how I tie a rectangular tichel. I think it looks really pretty, especially on the side. I don't think the back looks as nice, but it looks okay. I really like the front. And this is primarily how I've been tying tichels that are rectangular, just like this. And so I've tried to tie it some other ways, and I've struggled a bit. One way I've tried to do it is I have the tails even, and then I take one and wrap it around my head and tuck it in, and then I'll take the other tail and I'll do the same thing. First I'll fold it in to make it skinnier, and then I'll wrap it around the other way, and I'll try to find somewhere to tuck it in. Here I'm struggling to find a place to tuck it in. Sometimes you just have to find wherever you can tuck when you're doing headscarves. And I think if I was wearing a shaper, maybe this would work out better, but since I'm not, there's not a lot of surface area, so I'm wrapping it all on top of the head. It's kind of pretty because the tichel's so pretty, but I'm not sure if I would go out in public like this. I think I feel a bit insecure that it just doesn't quite look nice enough. So you'll have to let me know what you think. The back looks pretty. Let me know if you think I can go out in public like this. But that's a way that you could try to tie the tichel, but it hasn't really worked out for me so well. I guess I like having the tails. I'm still trying to learn what to do with rectangular tichels. So there you have it. And now actually, there's one other way that I want to show you how to do a square tichel. So I've brought the square one back. I folded it the same way into that triangle, but you know how we started with the line right there on the hairline? We're not going to do that this time. We're going to take the longest side of the tichel and we're going to put it at the nape of the neck so that the corner part is sitting in the front instead of the back. And you're going to take the two tails and raise them above your head and just tie a very simple knot, just one loop around itself like so. And then you'll take that front flap and you can either put it on top of the knot you've just made or underneath. I'm going to try to get it underneath. It's a bit of a struggle, but I think I can get it, so I'm just tucking it, and there we go. And so you can now see the flap that was just tucked in underneath, and now I'll take the two tails and I'll tie one more knot on top, kind of creating a circle, and then I've created these flaps now that I can tuck the tails into. And so that's another way that you can tie it up in the front so that you don't have tails and everything's out of your face. I do think this one is pretty cute, although I don't go out in public too much this way. You'll have to let me know, is it cute enough? Can I wear it out in public? But yeah, I actually think this time around this came out pretty good, really pretty. And so here's a really nice photograph taken of me recently. An acquaintance I know is a talented photographer, and he was doing some headshot sessions, and so I decided to wear one of my pretty tichels and get some headshots done. And so I thought while I'm talking a little bit about my own experience with wearing tichels, I could show you some of the photographs as well. And so, as I've said before, I don't really cover my hair for modesty or religious reasons. In fact, I was raised in a secular home, so although I'm ethnically Jewish, I didn't really know too much about Judaism or my heritage growing up. It's only when I became an adult that I really looked into it more, and I've learned so much about Jewish history and culture and just everything since then, and it's really been so impactful and important to me. It's been so meaningful. I've enjoyed learning so much about it. And I think it's influenced why I started this ASMR channel, because I really like ASMR and thought it would be nice to find a way to add a Jewish influence to it. So as I was learning more about Judaism and becoming friends with other Jewish people, I met someone who usually did not cover her hair, but on Shabbat she did cover it with a tichel, and she looked absolutely beautiful, and I was just learning about the magic of Shabbat, and so I had asked her if it's okay to wear a tichel even if you're not married, and she said that's totally fine. You can wear one if you want to. And so I decided to start wearing them on Shabbat and Jewish holidays, and that's just my way of adding something extra and celebrating Judaism and having a visual element, just showing my Jewish heritage out and proudly. And so that's why I've decided to start wearing tichels. It's a rule I've made for myself. I suppose I can really wear them whenever I want to. There's no real rule to it, but that's what I decided to do, and I'm happy with that decision. And I feel pretty when I wear tichels. I feel protected when I'm wearing them. I just feel like it's just something special and an extra touch, and I feel proud. And so I'm glad that I decided to start wearing tichels, and that's really why I do it and why I include it in my videos. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and that explanation. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please like and comment below to let me know what you think. Please subscribe to my channel, and as always, Toda Rabah, Laila Tov. Thank you very much, and have a good night. Bye.